I never want to see you in my house again. Do you understand me? And break up with my brother and leave him alone forever. Got it? Now, wait just a second. You just can't pour hot coffee all over someone and then talk to them as if they're the problem. What did you just say to me, you miserable cow? I only came over here to tell you that Nathan and we're getting married. I have no idea what I did to you to deserve this type of treatment, which I think is horrible, by the way. And how can you treat someone like this? It doesn't make any sense. You really think I'm gonna let some old divorced woman marry my older brother? Oh, you must be dreaming. Think of that hot coffee as my way of trying to wake you up from this horrible little fantasy you're trying to live. You have got to be kidding me, right? Is that all that you have to say for yourself? Nathan probably doesn't even realize just how close he came to having his life completely ruined by you. But I'm a good sister, and I saved him from throwing away everything just for you. If you couldn't make your first marriage work, I have no idea why you're even bothering to try again. You would just drag Nathan down to your level if you two got married. Is that really what this is all about? You did what you did all because I was married before? I can't believe it. Nathan and I come over here because we wanted to share our good news, and instead you turn around and treat me like this? What kind of person doesn't think that someone should ever get married again just because they were divorced in the past? It makes perfect sense to me and anyone else with a brain and eyes that could clearly see. Of course, someone like you is probably just incapable of seeing just how much this marriage would ruin his life. Then again, maybe you just don't care and you're only out for yourself. But that's all the more reason to protect my brother from an evil woman like you. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's had thoughts like this like you do, Erica. Well then, I guess that means I'm the only one standing in the way of my brother throwing his future prospects away for someone as lame as you. I mean, you already promised to love someone till death do you part, and I don't think either of you or your ex-husband are dead yet. So why should anyone ever trust anything you have to say about love or marriage? Or maybe it wasn't your personality. Maybe your husband left you because you are barren and can't have children. But that's just another good reason to keep you as far away from my brother as possible. Can you please just stop making all these assumptions about my life? I'll have you know that my last divorce wasn't my husband's decision, it was mine. Oh, really? So you left him and not the other way around? That's right. My ex-husband was a drunk who drowned himself in a bottle every night. And he wasn't afraid to get violent with me either. Not only that, but he was always stealing money from me and ended up running away with a younger woman. Oh, wow. Well, that guy sounds like a real piece of work if you ask me. He's complete trash. On that we can agree. So maybe you can understand why I felt like I had no other choice but to get out of that situation. I really did try to make things work out with my last husband, but nothing I tried seemed to get through to him. The divorce really was my last resort to deal with the situation. Alright then, I guess I understand why you and this guy split up. But it doesn't change the fact that you're still just a dumb woman who isn't good enough for my brother. And what makes you say that? Well, because you were stupid enough to marry such a complete piece of trash in the first place, of course. If you knew this guy was such a terrible person, but you still married him, then that just shows what a complete and total idiot you really are. I don't think you understand. Before we got married, he really was a kind and sweet man to me. But it was only after we said our vows that he changed into this horrible monster. I had no idea that he was hiding his true self behind a mask that he was waiting to take off after our marriage. Oh, there you go, pretending like none of this is your fault when you admitted that you were stupid enough to let yourself be tricked by this person. If you didn't do enough research into who you were marrying before doing it, then that is still on you. And all of this goes back to serve my original point that you are not good enough to marry my brother. Are you kidding me? Do you really think that life is that simple? Besides, I don't think Nathan is enough of a jerk to be your type. Maybe you should find someone more up to your level, Clearly, you're not responsible enough to understand marriage. I mean, you only realized the mistake you made after you made it. A smarter person would have never gotten married in the first place. You don't know what you're talking about at all. I really had no idea that my ex-husband was that kind of man before we got married. I never even saw him drink a drop of alcohol while we were dating. Oh, just shut up already, will you? You're only dragging your own grave, you know. All I've gathered from this conversation is that you're a stupid, irresponsible, reckless woman. You need to take responsibility for your actions and quit trying to blame others for your lack of judgment. Oh my God, you can't be serious, right? You really can't see things from my perspective at all. I don't, because there's nothing to see except you're not good enough for Nathan. Just the thought of being your sister-in-law with a complete idiot like you is enough to send my blood pressure up. You are never going to be good enough to marry anyone ever again. Got it? Little brat, one of these days someone is going to put you in your place. Do you know that? See, you even talk like an old maid. All you've done this whole time is prove my point time and time again. You're not even giving good arguments anymore. I am so glad that I put an end to you and my brother before this whole thing got way out of hand. I don't have time for this nonsense anymore. Goodbye, Erica.
Becca, are you there? I just left my parents' place and I was wondering if I could come over to yours. I want you to forget all about whatever my sister thinks. You and I are getting married.
Do you really want to talk about your engagement with me right now, Nathan?
I do. But first, I just want to say how sorry I am for how Erica has acted towards you today. I've seen anyone do what she did to you and it was absolutely unacceptable. I mean, who pours coffee on someone else like that?
Thank you, but you shouldn't be the one apologizing for that, Nathan. Do you really still want to get married in spite of all the trouble that I might cause you and your family?
I brought you over to meet my family today because I thought they would be happy for me, for us. But after you left the house, no matter how hard I tried to convince Erica that you were the woman for me, she couldn't get over the fact that you were married before. She kept saying all these terrible things about how marrying you was going to be the start of the end of my life. I got so fed up hearing her talk about you that way that I finally left the house.
She really said all that about me to you.
She did, and I couldn't believe it. I had never heard her talk that way about anyone before then. But it also makes me realize that we don't have to care about what she thinks. This is our lives, and we should live them how we want.
Oh, Nathan, I'm so happy to hear you say that to me. But you do know that if we go through with this, your sister will probably never talk to you again. Are you okay with that?
If she's going to be acting this way, then I don't want anything to do with her in the first place. I don't know what happened to make her change, but she isn't the person that I used to know anymore. I was getting fed up with attitude already, so this was just a good chance to make a clean break from all her nonsense.
You really mean that? That you were already thinking of cutting her off?
You know, Erica has always been a pretty prideful girl, even when she was little. She would look down on the less popular kids and judge them for petty things. I remember one time, she had a girl in her friend group who said that she wasn't going to college and was going to start working instead. And Erica just kept bullying that girl and calling her poor and stuff. But I never saw her actually physically take action to bully someone like she did to you today. And that's when I knew she really had changed too much.
Wow, I can't believe she said such horrible things to that girl.
She really did. And there was another time where she had a friend who was a single mother, and Erica told her that children without both parents aren't even worth having. She just says the first cruel thing that comes to her mind and never thinks about how it might affect the person she's talking to.
Well, everyone and everything, it sounds like. And to say those kind of things to people actually going through stuff like that, that is just awful.
Well, Erica thinks she's never made any mistakes in all her life, so she thinks she gets to judge those who she thinks have. Basically, she just asserts that she's right and everyone else is wrong, unless she says otherwise.
How can someone even live like that? How has no one ever stood up to her and told her just to mind her own business?
It's a mystery to me as well. But I refuse to let Erica be the reason why I don't marry the woman of my dreams. So please, do you mind if I come over so we can talk more about this in person? I want to plan a date that we can go to court and get married, and then we can look at places to move in together.
It's been a while since we last spoke, but I just wanted to do my due diligence and make sure that you and my brother finally split up. Actually, on the contrary, we've moved in together. And this weekend, we're going to the courthouse to have our civil ceremony and get married. Hold on a second, what? So you two haven't broken up at all? Oh, you're going to get married instead? I can't believe this. How dare you just go and do this after what I said you should do? Erica, can you please just tell me what is this really about that you don't like? Why is it that you don't want Nathan and I to get married so badly? It's because I hate you and you're not good enough for him. I already told you that a divorced woman can never ever be trusted again to be married. You're just going to run away and hurt my brother the moment things get a little difficult for you. Well, I'm not going to let you blow up my brother's life like you did with your last marriage. You really do see things through your own biases, don't you? I'm not biased at all. I'm just honest about what I see, and people don't like to hear the truth. I mean, even after I told you about how I was tricked about who my last husband really was, and that after he changed, I had to just leave him for my own sake, and you still managed to put the blame on me. You made it sound like I was taking the easy way out, even though I told you that divorce was the last thing that I wanted to do. Well, that's because all you said in that whole sob story of yours was it was tough, so I gave up. Do you really think I believe that your husband suddenly changed personalities after you got married? That sounds like an excuse, and a failure at that. And if that's how lightly you take marriage, then clearly you weren't good enough for my brother to stick it out through thick and thin. It was your job to find out about the person you got married to before you married them. What's that term, red flags? You didn't see any of them? Erica, I really think you're making a huge mistake. I don't make mistakes. In fact, I'm also engaged to be married, and unlike you, I know exactly the kind of person that I'm getting with. That's why I agreed to get married to him. Wait a second, you're engaged to be married too? But not even Nathan knew anything about that. Well, he wouldn't know anything since I've been keeping it a secret from the family this whole time. But soon, I'm going to be introducing him to the family, and they'll see just what an amazing man he is. Although, I suppose since the cat is out of the bag, I can tell you that he graduated from Harvard, and he works at a huge investing firm. His name is Charlie, and he's amazing. Oh, and he's all mine. So, your fiance's name is Charlie? That's right. He's just a few years older than me, but all that means is that he has more life experience. He's so amazing, and I'm not ashamed to be seen with him at all. We're actually the perfect match for each other. So, this Charlie guy is a bit older than you. Do you mind if I ask exactly how much older he is than you? Actually, it's funny that you ask because Charlie is the same age as you, so he's about 7 years older than me. Wait, what? Are you serious? That's right. He went to a great school, has a great job, and is a good age. Basically, he's the perfect catch. I should know. I've spent time learning about the kind of person he is, and I know that I'm not wrong about how I feel towards him. I'm not gonna make the same mistakes that an idiot like you did when you got married. So you just dived right into your marriage without even thinking about any of the consequences, and all it got you was a divorce. I think your Charlie might actually be my ex-husband, Charlie. Harvard, the job and finance, his age, it all matches exactly with the man I used to be married to. I'm afraid that you might, in fact, be marrying someone who has also been a divorcee. Hold on, wait a second. What? I know. I'm just as shocked as you are to be hearing all of this. The world really is a small place, isn't it? Is that supposed to be some kind of a joke or something? There is no way that the man I'm engaged to marry ever had anything to do with you. Because if that was really true, then that would mean that I'm about to marry a horrible person. But there's no way that he was married before or even got divorced. Well, all I'm saying is that everything you told me about this man so far has matched up exactly to the man I used to be married to. My ex-husband, Charlie, also went to Harvard, and he also works in finance. And his name is also Charlie, like your fiancé. But that just happens to be all a coincidence. I mean, I've never even seen Charlie drink, okay? And he's never mentioned anything about being married to you or anyone before. Sounds like the same thing he did to me. I never saw him touch a glass before we got married. It was only after he did that he showed me who he really was. But I think you'll find out pretty quickly that he does all of his drinking while you're away, and he only pretends to abstain when he's around you. Oh, you are full of it. This can't be right. And have you actually ever asked him before if he's ever been married? Because I feel like that's something a lot of people don't bring up, especially if they don't see it's necessary. You might want to look into that, though. This is really bad, though. I mean, we're already engaged. How can we get married if he's hiding so much about me that I don't even know? This can't be right. He would never do something like this to me. I know how you feel. I thought the same exact thing before when I got married to him. But he's hiding his true self from you. And once you two get married, you can look forward to him just downing bottle after bottle, night after night. And I don't want to make any formal accusations, but I'm just telling you that it's really worth looking into before you get married, okay? No. You can't be right about this. My Charlie would never lie to me about who he is. I mean, he is my fiancé, for crying out loud. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot that you have the ability to know exactly who someone is and isn't. What is that supposed to mean? I'm only repeating what you said. You told me that you would never get married until you were 100% sure that you knew what kind of person they were. So I guess that means you must have done all of your homework on this person and that you know exactly who you're marrying. I mean, you wouldn't just get married to someone without knowing anything about them, right? Well, of course not. Well then, don't worry about it. I'm sure that things are going to be just fine. After all, if they aren't, then that means you've been wrong about yourself this whole time, wouldn't it? I don't think I'm wrong. It never hurts to double check. Oh, no. I really hope that I didn't shake your confidence in your fiancé. After all, you aren't some old hag like me. You're a bright, clever young lady, aren't you? So I'm sure that you know exactly what you're getting yourself into with this guy. I mean, even if I was right, and it is my ex-husband Charlie, and he does change after you two get married, at least you've already been prepared for that, right? Look, I don't know what you're talking about. I just mean that you'll take responsibility for your marriage and won't run away like I did, right? Even when he's drunk and hitting you, you'll still be there by his side, right? You don't really think that will happen to me, do you? Oh no, what have I done? I can't marry someone like that. Becca, you gotta help me. You were right. My fiance was your ex-husband, Charlie. I asked him if he'd ever been married before, and he refused to answer until I pressed him about it, and then he told me the truth. He really is the same abusive alcoholic that you used to be with. Oh, so you did end up going to double check about who he was. Huh, and here I thought that you knew all about this guy before you got engaged to him. Oh, shut up! This isn't a joke, you know. And what am I supposed to do about this now? Please, you have to help me. What do I need to do to help you with? Did something happen? He was going to do the same thing he did to you, to me. He hid part of his life that he wasn't going to tell me about at all until after we got married, okay? When he finally came clean about who he was, he went straight to the kitchen, opened a bottle of wine, and chugged the whole thing right before my eyes. That does sound like Charlie. Yeah. He changed right before my eyes. I couldn't believe it all. He got so angry that he told me I wasn't allowed to leave. That also sounds very much like Charlie. He is just the worst when he gets any alcohol in his system. I told you that's the reason why I left him in the first place. But he told me that he really wanted to get back together with you. Except that he didn't know how to get a hold of you after you left him. And so he finally gave up and looked for another woman. And he said he wanted one with a good job who was young, just like me. And now we're engaged to get married. He really is just a terrible, awful person. And to think that he showed his true colors before the wedding. I remember seeing him drink like that the first time. He shouted and yelled at me the whole first night of our marriage. Please, you have to do something to help me. I ran away and locked myself in the bathroom. I can't spend the rest of my life with a guy like this. I can't leave the house, though. He blocked the door, and I have no other option but to hide in here. Please, you have to come and help me. I don't care if you and my brother get married. Just come and save me.
Well, first of all, sis, Becca and I are already married, and we never needed your permission to do so.
Little sister, is this Nathan? Did you two really already get married? I thought you weren't going to do that until this weekend.
That was the plan, but then I was told I was going to have a business trip this weekend, so we moved the appointment up. It was all an easy process, and now Becca and I are married.
Well, congratulations. Now, are you going to come and help me or not?
I don't know. You said that you'd let Becca and I get married if we did, but we're already married, so what else do you got?
What do you mean, what else do I have? I'm your sister, and I'm in trouble. Isn't that enough?
But I thought you knew exactly the kind of person that you were going to get engaged to. No? If you like this guy so well, you can get yourself out of this jam, right?
Wait, no, please. You aren't really just gonna abandon me like this, are you? You're not going to leave your little sister with a mean drunk like this, are you?
It's not that I don't feel bad for you. I just really don't feel like I need to do much either. You got yourself into this mess so you can get yourself out. Becca explained very well to you about the kind of man that her ex was, but you just didn't listen, and look where that landed you.
You're right. I should have listened. I should have never made fun of Becca for being divorced. I never thought it would lead to this, though. I was just trying to protect you, Nathan.
So you think that I should thank you for all that you put my wife through? Because I don't ever remember asking you to do that for me.
Please, I'm sorry for everything. Just help me out here, please.
I've called the cops and they should be on their way. But I never want you to talk to me or my wife ever again.
It wasn't long after that call that the police finally came and was able to get Erica that was trapped in the bathroom. It goes without saying that Erica and Charlie promptly broke off their engagement. I heard through the grapevine, however, that all of Erica's friends are now teasing her for having horrible taste in men, as well as not knowing what she got herself into. Of course, this was also just a way of getting back at her for all the times Erica would make fun of her friends for making poor choices with their ex-boyfriends or current partners. As for Nathan and I, we had a small wedding ceremony with some friends and family, and now living together, happily married.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.